Gotta take heroin. You take heroin fast.
What do you mean it hasn't been on?
I take back everything.
It was like awesome, thanks for coming.
Pleasure.
Yeah, so we'd like to thank you heaps for being here, Ambassador.
Yeah, no, you couldn't find a better ambassador?
No.
A lot of people must have rejected.
We were at the bottom of the list and we went, Akmal, yeah, alright.
Only if we have to. You know.
Alright, I'm going to start with this. This is something I always ask the kids when I go into the room. I always say, give me your best pickup line.
Okay.
The best one you've got.
Alright, the one that that has seen me through a lot of difficult nights. You know, because as you know, I'm really amazing with the ladies. It's just a natural thing I've got. You know, you either got it or you don't.
You've got it.
I don't. But I was sarcastic. But what about you know? I go. You know, this will never fail. But only use it occasionally because it loses its impact after a while. It's up to a girl. Wow. So, wow. Is there an angel missing in heaven? Because you've got really nice tits. Yeah, that never fails. Never fails to get you slapped. Then once you get past the slap, if you survive that, then they're into it. But I haven't had one that was into it yet. But I'm still trying.
Yeah, work.
Well, you know, you've got to give these things a go. You can't give up after the first 1,000 rejections. You know, it will work.
Persevere.
You got to persevere. You got to get better at it. It's about the delivery.
Alright, cool. So, go on and ask, what type of guy were you when you grew up? Like, what kind of kid were you?
I was. Do you want the truth, or do you want me to make something up to make myself look cool?
Give me the truth.
The truth. I was an idiot. I was an idiot. Yeah, I used to really. I caused my parents a lot of grief because see, I wasn't good at school.
Yeah.
And I come from a family where everybody else was good at school and did very, very, very well. Like the other extreme.
Yeah.
My brothers finished in the top 5% in the state.
Oh wow.
Right, and I finished in the way below the bottom. It wasn't even a scale for me. It was like, you know, the bottom and then Akmal. Then a special section for me. You know, and I was so bad. I couldn't concentrate at school. I couldn't do well. So. And when I'm a lot older than a lot of people, than most. And when I was at school, we didn't have Facebook or Twitter, or we didn't even have Game Boy.
Yeah.
Didn't even have none of that. We had Hungry Hippos. You had that. That's very sad. Okay. Are you getting therapy? Are you seeing it? How exciting was that? Was like fun for about 3 seconds, and then you felt like smashing the hippos. Are you sure you want me to be the ambassador? I was troubled basically. We used to you know, do some things for fun to create because you know you need distractions and you need to belong to a group. You have to belong to a tribe. Especially when you're young, you need to identify, and you know whatever the tribe's doing. You have to kind of try and fit in and do whatever they're doing, even if it's destructive, even if it's wrong, just so you can belong. And then when you get older, you realize, oh, God, that was stupid, that was wasteful, that was destructive, and I could have spent that time much more productively and develop my knowledge and my skills and become a better person. But you don't think that. It's not. When you're young, that's not important. The important thing is to fit in with all your tribe, the people that you think are part of your tribe.
Definitely.
And then you get older, you go, well, they weren't my tribe, they're fucking idiots. Why would I hang around with them?
Alright, so what stage in your school, you said you weren't really good at school, what stage did you go, you know what, I'm not good at maths, can't spell, I'm going to do stand-up?
I know the list is a lot longer than that.
That's probably
not very lively there. I can't spell, I'm not good at sport. And luckily, I found something that I was good at, you know, that I was relatively good at, and I worked hard at it because I loved it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't good at it straight away, you know, but I really wanted to do it as a way out, you know.
Yeah.
And it annoyed my parents, which was a bonus.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. Because, you know, I come from a family of doctors. You know,
Yeah.
all my extended family are doctors. Some of them are registered. But not the majority. They're dodgy. It's a dodgy family. I come from a very dodgy family. I want that to go on record. I want you to broadcast that. But when they see it, they'll accept it. They'll go, yeah, we are dodgy. Of course they are.
You touched on there when you said it annoyed your parents a bit. A lot of the kids, I know that I speak to, like a lot of the guys, I go, you know, what are you going to do when you leave? And they go, oh yeah, my parents want me to do this. Did you find that was a bit of a barrier? Did you feel like you were supposed to go down that path?
Yeah.
And it was hard for you to kind of make
It was really hard because I come from, you know, I come from a different culture as well, where it's even more important and more, you know, it's all about, you know, you have to honour the family and you have to kind of respect and all this, and it's even much more difficult than say an Anglo family where they're a bit more relaxed about it. But I, from an early age, I knew that it was about me. You know, ultimately, I'm the one responsible for myself, and whatever I do, I'm going to either benefit or I'm going to suffer. You know, and my parents won't be around forever. You know, and I'll get to an age where my parents won't have any control over me, and I'll be responsible for any decisions I've made. So, you know, you have to do what you want to do, as long as you really believe that that's what you want to do, and you do it well, and you work hard at it, and you'll succeed at it. And as long as it's not, you know, selling ice. Don't sell ice, kids. That's a terrible thing to do.
Tip one from Akmal Saleh.
Yeah. Don't sell ice. The ambassador of Subway says, don't sell ice. No, but you know what I'm saying. Definitely. You know, it's about you're responsible for your life ultimately, and all the decisions you make, whether they're bad or good, will ultimately reflect on you, and you're the one that's gonna, you know, either have a good life or a terrible life, and you have to kind of look at the whole thing. Try and look at it in a broader sense, not just now. Look at it like, where am I going to be in 10 years? Am I going to be still doing what I'm doing? And is that causing me to be happy?
Yeah. Or
is it causing me to move on and be better and be able to do things for others and be a better person and all that?
Alright, good. So, just pose yourself and... so how did you find as a young bloke things like drugs and alcohol and partying?
I found them good. Yes, I've taken drugs, but you also got to be careful. You know, you got to be sensible, and you got to understand the responsibility. Yeah. If you're going to take it, you're going to know that there are consequences. That to every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. You know, it's not about what drugs to take and what drugs not to take. It's not an issue of the drugs. It's an issue of you. You as an individual. How do you want to live your life? How much brain cells do you want to damage at a young age? If that's what you want, you have freedom. You have freedom, you know, especially in this country, you have a lot of freedom to do whatever you want. But ultimately, you're the one that is responsible for your actions.
Alright, cool. So, have you found that the drugs and drinking and partying and things like that have gotten in the way of you achieving your dreams?
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. You know, like, I mean, pot is the worst thing for motivation.
Yeah.
So if you want to achieve something and you're a pot smoker, it becomes 5 times as hard. I mean, you may achieve it, but you'll achieve it. You're making it. It's like you're trying to run, you know, a race, but you've got, you know, ski boots on. You know, you're running a marathon with ski boots. I mean, you might get there, you might finish it, but you're making it so much more difficult for yourself.
Yeah, we're going to do it's like a picky choice kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'll give you 2 options, you're going to choose your favourite option.
Okay. I know this.
Can you work this one out? I know you can't spell.
You know, Channel 9 based the whole show on this. You know, like, you know, do you scrunch or do you fold?
That was one of my questions.
Oh God! Yeah, but that's fine as a questionnaire for fun. But to build an entire show on it.
So, NRL or AFL?
I would say rugby league because I grew up with league.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you know the rugby league people think the AFL is a puffy game.
Yeah.
It's a bit puffy.
Yeah.
But it's ironic because rugby league is the only game in the world where a man inserts his head into another man's anus. Like if you look at it from a distance, it looks like that. I think one day it's going to happen, because they use a lot of Denka rather than movies. You watch one day, you're going to get up and go, hey, where's Carney? He's on your head. It's a very strange game. And I played it at school. And I always was in the scrum. I was a hooker. Oh yeah, sorry, can't do that. That's right. And they used to do this thing where they used to grab you, like they put their hand underneath and grab your scrotum. So how is that not a poofy game and AFL is a poofy game? I don't get it. So people are quick to judge, and she's looking at her watch now. Man.
No,
I've got a life to it.
I've cut my arm.
Is it still daylight? Cut your arm because of this interview?
I'd like to see how you could make this one inappropriate. I'm quite curious.
Yeah.
Macca's or KFC?
What's the third choice? I'm gonna depart from the rules of this game. I'm gonna add another one. I'd say there's a shop in Newcastle that's on the way to, because I travel a lot, and they sell really healthy food.
Awesome. All right. Boxes or briefs?
No, I wear, these days boxes suit me.
Just let it hang.
Relax.
Relax.
Don't microwave your testicles.
Pubs or clubs?
Clubs like nightclubs?
Yeah, like nightclubs.
No, that's the thing. And it's not an age thing. Even when I was young, I've never been into nightclubs. I never understand nightclubs. And when I was young, people could smoke in the nightclub too. You go home and your ears are ringing, and you smell of smoke, and all your friends have picked up chicks, and you're just going home by yourself. Because I was never good at it. The pickup line, never really good at it. I was never good at it, and it's nothing to do with looks. I mean, I'm not an attractive guy, but friends of mine who are far less attractive, we do really well, and I never could, like as soon as you approach a girl, they can see you coming, and as soon as, before you even say anything, they turn around and go, I've got a boyfriend. You just turn around in the same move. You just it's a game that some people play well naturally, and others don't. Guess which category I fall in? I'll tell you.
Alright, meat or vegetarian?
Well, I'm one of those bullshit vegetarians. I say I'm a vegetarian, but I occasionally eat meat. Things like okra. We used to eat a lot of okra. You don't even know what that is. Okra?
Yeah.
Okra, we ate a lot of okra. It's known as...
It's not. It's green and it's about that long and it's got a little thing of chocolate tape.
It's not well known, but we ate it a lot.
No, it's not asparagus.
It's different. Different vegetables together. It's spelled differently.
You can't spell anyway. Don't put this on me.
It's true. It's not even related to the asparagus. You could never make that. You're probably the first human to make that comparison between the okra and asparagus. See, I start off normal, and then I get very silly. This is the stage that I'm in now, where the cocaine's wearing off. I'm joking.
Alright, Justin Bieber or One Direction?
Are you asking me who I would like to see die? Is that the question?
Both isn't an option.
Both isn't an option.
Someone made a good point at one of the schools. They go, well, there's only one of Justin Bieber. There's 5 of those makers. There you go.
Yeah, but he makes up. He's equal to 5 wankers. I think it's like smacking him. When I was young, people could smack people his age, and it wasn't assault then; it was discipline. Even strangers could go up to them. And what do you hit my kid for? I was disciplining him. Oh, that's alright.
Alright, I'll edit that video.
I'm not scared of Justin. I can thank him. I got cousins. I can't.
Alright, so finally, what are your top 3 tips for being a top bloke?
But I'll tell you what you need to be happy. And if you're happy, then you're probably a top bloke. because the non-top blokes, the people who are angry and destructive and have miserable lives, tend to be unhappy. And there are simple things you can practice. And the one thing is, don't think so much about yourself. The world doesn't revolve around you. So if you think of others that are maybe less fortunate, or that someone that is suffering, or someone just even in the slightest tiny little way, just call someone or just give someone $1 that they, someone who's begging on the street or something like that. It does help you personally. It makes you put life in perspective, and your problems don't seem as big because the world doesn't revolve around you. That's number one. Number two is I don't know. That's it. There is no number.
I'm sure we've got quite a few messages.
Yeah.
Don't sell ice.
Well, don't expect things to always work in your favour. Accept that life isn't fair. Life isn't fair. That's the reality. And once you accept that, you're going to be happier. Learn to forgive, because forgiveness helps you personally. If you hold grudges, you're the one that's suffering. You've got to try. It's very, very hard. I know. Try and free yourself of holding grudges. Everyone in the world has had people who have wronged them and has done things to them that were unfair. And but the more you hold on to that, the more your life stops progressing. If you can free yourself of that, then you're going to be a happier person and you're going to win. And really, success is the only revenge. It's the best revenge. And it's the only one that makes sense. And try and move around. Sometimes a good walk helps. It sounds stupid, it sounds like an old person talking. And it is. I am an old person talking. And that's why I know things. I've done more things than you. What have you done? Nothing. Right? So shut up. Shut up and listen. Right? Yes, moving around is very good. Exercise is good because, you see, people forget that your brain is an organ. The way you think, the way you view the world, it comes from that organ, that little brain, right? Or it may not be little, I don't know. But if it's healthy, then you're going to be thinking more clearly. If it's unhealthy, it makes you see life in a very obscured way. You're the one that's going to suffer. And you're ultimately responsible for you. And you can live your life in any way you want, but you have to accept the consequences of the choices you make. Thank you.
Amen.
So, thanks heaps for coming.
I hope that was alright. Was that a bit out of inappropriate?
That was right amount of inappropriate.
Huh?
That was right amount of inappropriate.
The right, good inappropriate, bad inappropriate. That my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And this is the first time I've been an ambassador. And it's good, so that I get to travel for free and stuff.
Definitely. Totally.
Yeah.
Just Sizzler.
All the way to Sizzler.
Not Geneva.